Okay, so here's what's going on. Whoop. I went to a metal supply store and I picked up this nut, or sorry, this bolt, this giant washer, this nut, and I think they're the same size. Um, yeah, anyways, actually, that doesn't matter. This is the one I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm dropping in the hole for positioning. I'm going to use the shaft of the bolt to actually help me line up the head of the bolt, and then I'm going to trace around it with a mechanical pencil. Check and see how I did there. Okay, so see the tracing is good. It looks like the hole's a little crooked. Anyways, I'm going to take my, where'd it go? I believe it's my Japanese chisel. That is just about dead on. I'm going to set that one aside and the protective cover for it. I'm going to go with a smaller one to kind of get the initial chops. Actually, for the clearing, this I'm going to use this to define the edge of the cutting. So I'm going to try and go corner to corner with this guy. It is just a hair larger than the head of the bolt. I keep wanting to say nut. It's not right. I am going to mention that this does have, it's a woodcraft set, and it has the ferrule, or the hoop, on the end, which helps hold the fibers together if you're going to hit it with a hammer. Last one's going to be in front of the camera here, but you can see a good angle. Good view of the back of the chisel. Just going to shift it over just a hair. Okay, there. So I'm going to use the little guy to chop back to the lines. Clear out the bulk. I guess the bolt will tell me. I'm going to take the chisel out of my hand so I don't drop it on my foot. So let's see. It's pretty good. I need to take out a little bit of the depth. So a little bit of fine tuning, but that's the general idea. And so it's not a secret. There's going to be the bolts and the mechanism for the Moxon Vise running that way. And then I'm going to have this running the other direction for attachment purposes. So that will be either later in this video or a whole other video. But I will share it with you. I will share it with you when this is done. I just need to finish this one up, clean it up, and then do the one on the other side. Okay, so going handheld here for just a second. I went with, I think that's a 1/4 inch chisel, thereabouts. And so what I did was, the bolt head was in there, and so it was fitting okay. It's a little snug still. Um, but I took this guy, it was a little smaller, and I just kind of shaved the bottom and then cleared it. And so the smaller chisel helps. You kind of want a chisel the size of the work you're doing. So down in here, it's not very wide. And so this guy, with just a little persuasion here, let me see. Oh, there we go. I need a corner of the hammer. So now it is down in the hole. And so it's sticking out the bottom. And that's what I wanted, was to make sure it wouldn't bump into the work. So I'm going to save it for right now. But I need to do the same thing over here. And I'm happy with the way that hole got cleared out, and this is fitting. So like I said, this will be part of a follow-up, either a segment of this video or another one later. Okay, so here's what's going on. It's assembly time. I'm not going to use the springs right away because they're too darn long. I'm not sure why they're so long. I'm going to move this plate out of the way, and so it's going to be this guy sliding right in. This guy. Getting tapped into position. So on the back, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so here's what's going on. I'm going to do some quick assembly on this guy. Move this plate out of the way. I'm not going to use these springs right away because they're too long. I think I'll have to cut them. But they compress. But unless you're working on everything's going to be like, I don't know, 3 inches thick, they're just too darn big. And so I'm going to plug this guy in. That seats right away. And this guy. That's in there, beyond flush. And then we'll turn it around. And that's actually, tighten it up. All right. So now comes our front and our handles. So it's still a work in progress. But it is now a working Moxon Vise with extra slippage for handling angled or tapered items. I do plan to add these bolts at some point. The washers ended up overlapping, but I'm going to have this interface with something else, so it's going to connect to something else. So the bolt will come through, so I just need to make room for what's happening here, because this washer will maybe be out here someplace. So anyways, that is for another day. Keep in mind, so another video to come. But yeah, there it is. Like I said, at some point I'll put some spring in there so they self-separate. But that is now an officially operating Moxon vise. I guess the final note is I have to decide whether I want to just cut a little ear. There's not a ton of room, so I don't think I'll do the circle for the hole. But this might get trimmed back, and this might actually work in conjunction with the way these plug in. So, like I said, another video. Subscribe if you want to see what happens next.